Yes. Okay. Nama Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Mukund.
Hare Krishna. Just Hare Krishna, kids.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Tulasi.
Okay, Hare Krishna. All right. So we can get started with our class in just about a minute. I'm actually driving now. I'm just going to get parked and we can get started now. Okay. All right. So I had to pick up my son from school. That's why I'm here. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, I got to where I need to be. Okay. Are you all able to see me? I don't think it's pretty clear. Okay. So, okay, let's see. Maybe I'll. Okay, so Varun, are you able to share the screen? Yes. Very good.
Mataji, I'm sharing.
Oh, good, good. Okay. So Varun has his new computer which he's trying out. I was not sure if he was going to be successful.
Mataji, what kind of computer?
Varun, can you tell him what kind of computer that is? I'm not sure, dear. Okay. I don't know whichever way it's better. Okay, this is better. Are you able to see me okay?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you also better in this way.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we can get started, Varun. You can go on to the recap slide. Okay, 1 second. Let me open it on my end also. That way I'll have a copy. Wait a minute. Okay. Yes, I got it. Okay, so far what has happened was, from my previous class, if you remember, Arjuna, he was in deep sorrow, right? Because he had strong feelings of separation for Krishna. So what happened to him? His mouth was drying up, his heart was feeling weird, his bodily luster was lost, and he could hardly speak anything. That was the position. And he had tears in his eyes also. So when a person has emotions, this is how the person shows the emotion, right? When you have strong attachment, we discussed an example of a child and a mother. If you remember, a mother and a child are so affectionate because they see each other almost every day. Imagine Krishna, he is equal to hundreds and thousands of mothers for us. That much affection he has on his devotees. So when he leaves, what would happen to a devotee is what we saw from my previous class. He was overwhelmed while he was thinking about Krishna, and also he was breathing heavily when he started to speak to Yudhishthira. He said that his intimate friend Krishna, he had left him alone and he has gone. He then glorifies Krishna that he is the sum and bonum of everything. So the separation would him is like a body without life. How will a body feel if it has no life in it? That is how he felt.
Mataji, it won't be
Like
able to
that.
feel anything.
What?
The body won't be able to feel anything because there is no
Yeah.
soul in there.
Somebody has to mute their phone. I don't know who that is, but I'm hearing some audio voice. Yes, Mukund, you're right. Your body, it will not feel anything. And then we also remember that, see, he has his powers. Whatever powers that he has acquired is because of Krishna. Krishna empowered him for the time duration that he is there in the earth. Whatever powers he has, he needs to have for that pastime, Krishna gives that power to Arjuna. And whenever he leaves, he takes his power away, because obviously a devotee does not need, he is a Nitya Siddha devotee of the Lord, so he's going to go to his eternal abode. This is what happens to a devotee. So he took away the power also. And then what happens? He tells that he glorifies Krishna, saying that he's the sum and bonum of everything. So separation from him would be like a body without life. As Mukund said, its lifeless body is of no use. That is how he felt. He also remembers how he could marry Draupadi because of the merciful strength of Krishna, right? The Swayamvar ceremony was held and he was able to participate in the Swayamvar and win the ceremony. That was due to the mercy of Lord Krishna. That was due to the strength Krishna had given him, because of which he was able to marry Draupadi. So this was the understanding of Arjuna. Okay, so moving on. Next slide, Varun. So here Arjuna is remembering about Krishna. So now we are just going to go through a recap from what Vrinda Mataji has taught us from our previous class. So Arjuna is remembering about Krishna, how he helped the Pandavas survive in the Indraprastha, the palace that was surrounded by the Kandava forest, and also a demon named Maya was saved from the fire in the Kandava forest. Who then, Maya Danava, he then built a palace for all of them. That is the Pandavas. That is where they performed their Rajasuya Yajna. So this is what you saw in the 8th verse of the 15th chapter. Let's get also into the story.
Mataji, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Mataji. Mataji, you're muted and your video is off.
Mataji, we can't hear you.
Mataji, we can't see you or hear you.
Yeah.
You're muted and your video is off.
Mataji, are you there?
Maybe some internet issues.
I just lost for a minute. The connection was lost. I got back. Sorry, kids. Okay. So now, so we can go to the next slide, Varun. Do you mind, dear? So now what happened was Duryodhana, he hated the Pandavas and did not want to give them anything. In his jealousy, what happened? Duryodhana, he tried to have the Pandavas killed, but luckily the Pandavas always survived his attack. However, whatever they do to them, somehow or the other, Pandavas escaped from it. When the Pandavas came back, the blind king, having no choice, gave a portion of the kingdom in the west of Yamuna for the Pandavas to rule. And this was called what? Indraprastha. Because this place was protected by Indra, that is the king of Devas. And hence this place was called Indraprastha. And Indraprastha, it was surrounded by thick forests of Kandava. And the forest had plenty of nagas and demons, and the people there were constantly attacked by the thieves. This was not, this forest was pretty bad in that sense because it had plenty of nagas and snakes, and they were constantly being attacked by the thieves. And Yudhishthira was worried. See, he was given such a place to build a city of Indraprastha on the barren land forest. There was nothing, right? Except this, there was nothing there. And this was also, this place of Kandava forest, it was also occupied by demon named Maya Dhanava. And he was, and it was ruled by Takshaka, the flying snake. So this was the characteristic of Kandava forest. And this this is the same snake. The Takshaka is the snake that we were talking about. That is the snake which killed Parikshit Maharaj also. So this is the snake. And this snake is in the Kandava forest. This was what was presented to the Pandavas. Can you imagine? It was not even a fertile land that was given to the Pandavas. All they had was a barren land, and these people had to turn this barren land into a fertile land. And this was such a small portion of what, see that attitude of Duryodhana, right? He was not even willing to give anything. And when he was forcibly asked to give something to them, he gave him a infertile land, which was full of nagas, demons, and the Tataka snakes, so on, Takshaka snake, and so on. Such was the condition of the place that was given to the Pandavas. When Yudhishthira and others were seriously discussing how to make this fertile land fertile by building Indraprastha, even Sri Krishna was there. Okay, how can we convert this land and make it into an Indraprastha? What are the ways through which we can do? This was sort of discussed by Yudhishthira. At that time, even Krishna was there. A Brahmin, and then what happened? A Brahmin came whose body was glowing and his speech was perfect. Arjuna inquired what he wanted. The Brahmana said, no matter what I do, no one has ever fed my belly fully. I'm always remaining hungry. Like that, this Brahmana said. And Arjuna said, no, don't worry. What type of food do you want? Let me know. No person who approaches me, they are going to go empty-handed. I will make sure that you have the best food that is available to you. This is what I will do for you. Don't even worry about it. Like that, Arjuna promised this Brahmana. Moving on, Varun. The Brahmana said, who's this Brahmana now? He said, I am Agni and I am the demigod. I have tried many times to burn this Kandava forest with appropriate number of animals, birds, and plants to satiate me completely. I wanted to burn because through burning only Agni eats everything, right? My hunger has not been satiated yet because I haven't had a chance to burn this forest completely. So per your promise, please help me satisfy my belly. I want to satisfy my belly, and please, as a Brahmin, you told me that you promised me I can help you with whatever kind of food that is available. And Takshaka, so because this forest is ruled by Takshaka and is a friend of Indra, whenever I try to burn this forest down, what happened? Indra, he sends his rain. So he can't burn the forest anymore, right? When the fire is subsided by the water. If there is rain, then the fire is subsided. So he's never able to satisfy his hunger for that reason. Because Takshaka is there, Indra always wants to protect his lovely friend. And that is why Indra, he pours in the form of rain. Now you should help me as you have promised to feed me. Isn't it, brother? You have to do that. And Arjuna and his brothers also wished the same, and they wanted to clear this forest out because this forest is full of disturbances and they want a clear forest now. And they requested Krishna. And Arjuna then said, I will surely help you out. But I need fast racing horses. I need a good chariot. I need a bow that has exhausting arrows. Whenever I take arrows, it should just come. Arrows should keep on coming from that bow. That is the type of bow I want. I need this gift from you. And now we see Agni thought for a while. I can provide you with a chariot. No problem. It can run as fast as the mind. Imagine how fast the mind goes here and there and everywhere. What each person does. What am I planning to do next? What am I going to do in the future? What happened in the past? Like that, the mind goes like a chariot, isn't it? So like that, this chariot will go as fast as a mind. That is what he's saying. And then I'll also gift you a Gandiva that is presented by Varuna. And Varuna vows me a favor. So I will get it from him. Don't even worry. So was the Gandiva, the bow, the chariot, everything is ready. Arjuna was ready to burn the forest now. And Takshak, he was not there during that time. And time was so favorable. And Agni, he did his job of firing that place. And he set ablaze the whole forest. And because Takshaka is not there, his friend Indra has not come to help him out. Okay, so the time is favorable. That is why time is favorable. And when the animals in the forest are running hither and thither because of this fire, it was going here and there. And Arjuna, whose chariot was driven by Krishna, attacked the animals, the flying birds, and killed every animal, every running, crawling creeping creature. So this is what it did. Okay, this is what was done by Arjuna. So Agni, he did his job. His time was favorable. He happened to set ablaze to the forest, and then the forest was burnt as a result of it. At that time, Takshaka was not there, so the time was favorable. So this was the whole scenario of what had happened in the Kandava forest. Moving on, Varun. Hearing about this disaster, Indra, who was the friend of Takshaka, sent out his rain clouds to stop the fire. Takshaka's son, Ashwashena, and his wife tried to escape. Takshaka's wife was killed. The son of Takshaka, Ashwashena, was also saved. The rain clouds were stopped by Arjuna, who made a barrier. There were huge battle between Devas, between Devas to Arjuna Krishna. Devas understood who can defeat them. They left the scene. Devas means why they are saying Devas? Because Indra is the lord of Devas, heaven, right? He is the lord of heaven. And so Devas were fighting against Arjuna and Krishna. Devas understood the defeat. They left the scene. The demon who was residing in the forest with wife and children. The wife and children died in the forest fire. The demon Maya was trying to flee away from the place. Arjuna caught hold of him and was about to kill him. Krishna stopped him and said, Maya is very useful to us. Don't kill him. He has an architectural knowledge. So therefore, he's of use to us. Why should you kill him? He can be used to build the city of Indraprastha for us. So the only creatures who could survive in this mass devastation were the 4 birds, Ashwashena, who is the son of Takshaka, and then this Maya demon. As the Maya was saved, he owed Arjuna a gift. So he made Maya Sabha and built Indraprastha with his magical powers. So this was the state of I mean, you all could understand, right? Who survived out of this were only 4 birds. That is the demon Maya Danava. And then Ashwashena, he is the son of Takshaka. These are the people who got saved by this mass devastation. And we can understand that Maya Danava then built the Pandavas, what is called as the Indraprastha, with this magical prowess. Are you all clear so far?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Wonderful. So next slide, Varun. Okay, so here the demon Maya Danava was an inhabitant of the forest Kandava, and when the Kandava forest was set on fire, he asked protection from Arjuna. Arjuna, he then saved his life. He reciprocated. Because he saved his life, what did Maya Danava do in return? He happened to reciprocate him by building a wonderful assembly house for Pandavas, which attracted extraordinary attention of all state princes. When he was chased both by the fire and by the wheel of Lord Krishna, he took shelter of such a devotee as Arjuna, who saved him from the wrath of the fire of Lord Krishna. So this is what Maya Danava did. And Arjuna happened to protect him. In turn, he happened to give him the Indraprastha in return because of his magical, because he has such a good architectural knowledge. So now we can understand what devotees are more merciful than the Lord, and devotional service, the mercy of a devotee is more valuable than mercy to the Lord. So that is why whenever we are asked to perform Vaishnava Seva, we immediately do it because devotees are so merciful. If you do Krishna Katha from them, they will be so happy and pleased, and any type of things, right? You can sing a song, you can glorify through prayers, you can do whatever, right? Cooking for Krishna, so many things are there. And through that process, devotees, they get pleased with the act of Vaishnavas, and they are so merciful, even more merciful than the Lord. And now we can understand both the fire and the Lord ceased from chasing the demon as soon as both of them saw that demon was given shelter by devotees such as Arjuna. So when Arjuna gave him protection, what happened? Both the fire did not devour him because he was protected by Arjuna. That is Agni, he did not devour him because Arjuna is the devotee of the Lord. Nobody wants to go against the devotee of the Lord. And Krishna is being pleased with Maya, for he has taken shelter of his devotee, asked him to render service to King Yudhishthira because he has this architectural knowledge, by building him a wonderful assembly house in the Indraprastha. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, let's go on to today's story. Varun, thank you, dear. You're doing a great job so far. So now the 10th verse and last class, Padmasakhi Mataji also went through the story of Jarasandha with all of you all. So I'm not going to recap that story of Jarasandha, but we are going to see about what the episode of Draupadi is like for today's episode. Okay. Hope, I just recapped the previous class because you might have forgotten, but yesterday's class, hopefully you all remember, right? So let's move on to today's verse. Queen Draupadi, she had a beautiful bunch of hair which was sanctified in the ceremonial function of Rajasuya Yajna. When she was lost in a bed, we all know the bed, right? How the Pandavas happened to lose against the Kauravas and how Draupadi was brought in front of all of the Pandavas, the assembly hall. Everybody was there, Pandavas, Kauravas. We had Bhishma, Dhritarashtra, everybody, Drona, everybody was sitting in the assembly hall. And when Dushashan happened to insult her by disrobing her. So when she was lost in a bed, Dushashan touched her glorified hair to insult her, right? Like this, the hair. And Draupadi then fell down at the lotus feet of Krishna. And Krishna decided that all the wives of Dushashan and the Kauravas should have their hair loosened as a result of battle of Kurukshetra. Why they want the hair to be loosened? She didn't want to tie the hair because she wanted to have the stain of Dushashan's blood. Then only she wanted to tie her hair. So till the death, she didn't want to tie her hair. And question, so why would the ladies loosen their hair? What is the reason? That is what Srila Prabhupada is answering in the purport. Thus, after the battle of Kurukshetra, after the sons and grandsons of Dhritarashtra died in the battle, what happened? All the wives of the family, they were all obliged to loosen their hair as widows. As widows, they are supposed to let loose their hairs. And this is what will happen to them when Kauravas are killed. In other words, all the wives of Kuru family became widows because of Dushashan insulting a great devotee of the Lord. See, obviously, Draupadi is a great exalted devotee of the Lord. When you commit Vaishnava aparat to such an elevated devotee, what would happen to you is what is exhibited through this act. All the ladies will lose their husbands, because of which they'll not be able to tie their hairs, which is what is symbolically being talked about in this purport. The Lord can tolerate his insult upon himself, but he cannot tolerate his insults that are done to a devotee of the Lord. If a devotee is disrespected, or devotee is insulted, or devotee is dishonored, then that is something Lord cannot tolerate. He never tolerates his insults upon his devotees. By insulting a great soul, what happens? One has to forego the results of pious acts and benedictions also. This is what is the state of aware. So if a person is a materialist, then all his material piety will go out. If a person is a devotee who insulted another devotee like Draupadi, then all his pious merits, spiritual credits will go away and he will fall down. So whatever be it, that person will fall down from wherever he is. So in the case of Dushashan, he is going to definitely have a big repercussion because of insulting Draupadi. So this is what is the understanding that Srila Prabhupada has given us through this purport, where the ladies of Kuru dynasty are going to not tie their hair because they will be standing as widows and they will be killed by our great Bhishma. So Bhima. Bhima also took a vow, if you remember. So he said, I'm going to kill all the Kauravas because Dushashan did this to Draupadi. I'm going to vow and I'm going to take a vow to say that I'm going to be the one who's the killer of Kaurava army. And because of this reason, Bhishma was given this opportunity to kill all the Kauravas. Okay. So next slide, Varun. Now, so we're going to get into the next story, which is the story from Mahabharata. So here, Bhima fights against Duryodhana. So what is that? Dishra called to Duryodhana and he said, why, O best of men, have you charmed this lake and hidden beneath its waters? How is that now you desire to save your own life, having brought about the destruction of your family and friends? that is indeed millions of Kshatriyas. Arise and fight. Where is your honor? So he's saying all this to Duryodhana. He's saying, okay, where is your spirit gone? What are you doing? Why are you hiding like this? You're a Kshatriya. Arise and fight. So now Duryodhana, he has lost almost all of them. And he is the survivor. And he has lost his army. The strength and prowess is lost. And so he's trying to fight alone with Bhima. And now Yudhishthira is calling out to Duryodhana. What happened? Why are you behaving like a coward? Arise and fight. You're a Kshatriya. You have been described as a hero in the assemblies. But I think those descriptions have been false. You're nothing but a coward. You seem to be covered. Just see how you now hide from us to protect your life. Oh, wicked fool, come out and face the consequences of your evil acts. Do not cover here like a hunch. Heroes never fly away from the battle. Rather, they prefer death to dishonor. Do not destroy your honor. Stand for battle. Either govern this earth after gaining victory or sleep on the naked earth killed by us. Do either of them. A Kshatriya, he's supposed to fight. He's not supposed to be a coward. So don't behave like a coward or a unch. Unch means like a half girl and half man. So don't behave either way. You are a Kshatriya. You are designed to fight. You have to fight. And you're the hero of our assembly. So it's your duty to fight. For a Kshatriya, fighting, being like a coward is a great, it is, you would rather prefer death. You would rather prefer death to dishonor. Rather than being a coward, you would prefer to die. This is what a Kshatriya is. And you are a Kshatriya, and prove yourself that you are a Kshatriya. So this is how he was actually telling. Yudhishthira Maharaj was calling out to Duryodhana when he was going to fight with Bhima. All right. So this is taken from Mahabharata chapter where Bhima fights Duryodhana. Moving on to the next slide, Varun. Duryodhana, he laughed and stepped forward. The Pandava soldiers fetched him a suit of armor when he quickly donned. Replacent, he said, "Oh, Yudhishthira, I will fight with any one of you brothers. What difference does it make? I can fight with you. I can fight with Arjuna. I can fight with Bhima. What difference does it make for me? Who can match my strength?" See, even in that state, Duryodhana doesn't give up his false pride and ego. Even in that state where all of Kaurava army is lost, he's not able to give up his pride and ego. He's saying, what difference does it make? Who can match my strength? I will kill you one after the other. There are none among you who can face a fair fight with me. It is not right for me to vaunt my prowess, but I speak the truth. See, I don't want to glorify my prowess, how powerful I am. I am so powerful. What do you think of me? I can just give a fair fight with any of you Pandavas, and I can kill any of you. See, I don't want to flaunt or boast at my own prowess, but this is the truth. What can I say? Within an hour, you will see my words are proven true. Just in 1 hour's time, when I kill all of you Pandavas, you will know that my words are proven true. Let he among you who will fight me take up his mace. Whoever is ready to fight with me, take up the mace and fight with me. I am ready for the fight. Like that, Duryodhana stopped. He laughed and stepped forward. This is how much his ego was taunting him. Okay. Are you able to understand? Okay, so let's just move on. Yudhishthira, he said to Kaurava, "Oh brother, you should not grieve. Truly, you are suffering now the terrible consequences of your deeds." Now Yudhishthira, back to who? He's talking to the Kaurava, meaning he's talking to Duryodhana. He's saying, "Oh brother, you should not grieve. Truly, you're suffering now. That is because of the consequences of your own deeds. So if you are behaving bad with somebody, I'm sure you're going to get your repercussions. Say somebody is doing something good for you. You don't even have the gratitude that somebody is doing good for you, feeding you, taking care of you, or something like that. And then say, for example, a beggar comes. Even a beggar who's given food, he will have gratitude for you because you have given him food. If you are such a person who doesn't have gratitude for anything that this world offers to you, or your parents offer to you, or your friends offer to you, then you're going to have that repercussions of your own deed. Don't forget that. This, O king, is the universal law. You're going to get sufferings for the consequences of your own deeds, and no one can avoid this. Surely everything has been ordained by the Creator, responding to our original desires, that is our own desires. Through your advice, pride and folly, you have suffered this calamity. Some people, if you see, they are not at all satisfied with anything. They always grieve. They always are unsatisfied. They always are in distress and lamentation. There is no satisfaction in them. Such a person, he's in the mode of probably he's in a very lower mode. That is the reason. If a person is in goodness, then he will have satisfaction within him. But instead of feeling grateful, this person would always feel ungrateful because of his lower modes. And again, in Duryodhana's case, we see that he is full of pride. His ego is not lost. And that is going to give him calamity. If not today, tomorrow he is going to reap the consequences. He can't survive with anybody because he has such a big ego in him. Having caused the death of all your brothers, sons, companions, and followers, you must now meet the death yourself. So Duryodhana, he was obviously responsible for the death of everyone in his family. If you look at the Kaurava family, there are 100 brothers. And Duryodhana, because of his adamant attitude, I want it. I won't give even a single piece of land to the Pandavas. This was the attitude of him. Because of this attitude, he happened to give up his brothers also. The life of brothers was so precious, but then he gave up their lives. I'm sorry. Yeah, so 1 second, I'm so sorry. So having caused the desire of your younger brothers, right? All of them, they all fell down. Millions of heroes have gone to death abode. You must follow them also. Such is the course of destiny. See, you gave up your brothers' lives and now you're also going to give up your life because that is what destiny ordains you to do. So because of your act, you're going to reap the consequences. Because of your forced adamant action, I want this land for only myself and I'm not going to share it with my brothers. This was the attitude of you. Because of this attitude, you're going to die also. Apart from having your brothers go through death, you are also going to die. And we know this suffering is going to have the consequences. Each of them, whatever your deeds are, whatever you do to others is going to come back to you. And nobody can escape that law of karma. And this is what will happen. Okay, so we will have question and answer session after this last slide. So be ready for that. And last slide talks about, okay, the Pandavas' victory. All the Pandava, so when Bhima happened to fight with Duryodhana, what happened to them? All of them, knew that Duryodhana lost the battle and the Pandava warriors roared and waved their upper garments. Some twanged their bowstrings and others blew their conch shells. Others beat drums and laughed loudly. Jumping about and sporting, they praised Bhima and applauding him for striking down Duryodhana. So this was the case, and Pandavas, they attained victory because Krishna and the goddess of fortune, Agni Dev's chariot, so many reasons why Pandavas would win. Their conch shells, they were transcendental, and that was going to symbolize that they were going to win. So we definitely knew from the beginning that Pandavas were going to win, because wherever Krishna is, there is where victory is. And now we can definitely evidently see from Mahabharata that the Pandavas happened to win over the Kaurava army. And here we see that specifically where Bhima is defeating Duryodhana. So now we are going to go to our question and answer session. And we are going to discuss through some of the questions that we have learned from today's lesson, just to make sure that you're all good with it. Are you all ready for it?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so first, please raise your hands up. I want to see whoever is ready to participate can raise their hands up. And I'll have one by one, have you discuss through that. You'd also answer the question. Okay, are you guys ready? So the first question goes to Rudra. Rudra, in the Mahabharata episode, what were we talking about? Who's this discussion about? Who was from the Pandava side talking to who on the Kaurava side?
Bhima. Bhima.
Who was actually talking? Not fight. Who was talking?
Sanjaya.
No. Here specifically in the. Okay, I'll ask somebody else then. Ramchandra.
Yes, Mataji.
Can you say who was talking here in the Pandava side and who was responding from Kaurava side?
So Bhima, he was telling Duryodhana.
Varun, do you know who was talking with whom?
In the Krishna to Duryodhana.
No, Krishna was not involved. I mean, there was
It was Bhima and Duryodhana, I'm pretty sure. Because Bhima was
talking.
What can Samskriti say?
Samskriti, go ahead, dear.
Was it Yudhishthir and Duryodhana?
Yes, it was Yudhishthira and Duryodhana. So the next question, can somebody, okay, let me see. So are you all able to understand? It was not Bhima, it was Yudhishthira who was actually talking with Duryodhana. Okay, Samskriti? You got it right here. Okay, so can somebody give me some symptoms as to what Arjuna was experiencing when he was feeling separation with Lord Krishna? Who wants to answer?
Mataji, can Varun?
Okay, go ahead.
So Arjuna, he was feeling like his mouth and heart, they were dried up. He could like even barely speak, and he was like very sorrowful because of the separation for Krishna.
And what else?
And he was
so his power was lost, remember?
Yeah, he didn't have any power anymore because he couldn't really even move.
Yeah, no, because Krishna left the planet, his powers were gone.
Because Krishna left, he felt like very sad.
Yeah, and his powers were gone with Krishna. He had no powers. Why does Lord give power to someone? What period of time Lord gives power to someone? Somebody else answer this question. Who wants to answer? How long does Lord give power to someone?
Mataji, it's usually how long they need it. Because like the Pandavas don't need the power anymore because they don't have any people against them to fight.
Exactly. Suraj, you got it exactly right. Very good job. Arjuna, he didn't need powers anymore. He's not going to fight anybody else. It's all done and gone. And that pastime is going to end now. And he's going to go back to abode as a Nitya Siddha devotee of the Lord, right? I mean, he's a Nitya Siddha devotee, meaning he will go to the Lord's abode and be with him. So he doesn't need the power anymore. Very good job, Suraj. Next question. What about who actually built the city of Indraprasth? I mean, there was this palace that was constructed in the assembly hall on the Indraprasth area. Who did that? For what?
Maya Danava.
Maya Devan.
No. See, this is not right. We should just wait till I say who has to say it. Okay, Tulsi Manjari, since you started off, go ahead with it. And next I'll give opportunity to Ramachandra and Atharva. All right, go ahead, Tulsi.
So it's if it's not Maya Danava, then
it is Maya. It is Maya Danava. Yeah, but why did he do it? Why did he do this for the Pandavas? What was the reason?
Yeah, Maya Danava did it because Arjuna saved him from Agni because Agni was just like eating all the forest and all the animals and all the living entities.
Absolutely.
And Maya Danava was running and he took shelter of Krishna and Arjuna. So they
Wonderful.
saved him. And he
Wonderful.
built
Wonderful.
the palace.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. Good job, Tulsi. Next, Ramachandra. And then I'll ask Atharva. Yeah, Ramachandra, what about what was given by Agnidev? What did Arjuna want from Agnidev?
So Arjuna wanted this palace. No, why did I say palace? Chariot, and he wanted this bow that whenever you shoot an arrow, another arrow will come. Like basically like unlimited arrows.
Wonderful. Yeah, Gandiva bow that had unlimited arrows, inexhaustible arrows. And that was actually presented by Varuna. Because Agnidev had a favor that, Varuna.
What does inexhaustible arrow
Inexhaustible.
mean?
Unlimited. Like as soon
Infinite.
as one goes out, another one will come in.
Yes.
So I'm saying there's this auto reload for the bow.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know about that, but that refills, it seems. Aditya says it's refills. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, good job. Okay, next question to Atharva. Atharva, are you here?
Yeah, yes, Mataji, I'm here.
I don't know if Atharva. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Was Takshaka killed as a result of this forest fire?
What was the question, Mataji?
Takshaka, was he killed as a result of the forest fire? Okay, so we can ask somebody else, no problem. Anybody else wants to answer? Don't say the answer though.
Mataji, can you
Whoever has not answered, who wants it? Akshita, can you say dear? Akshita, are you there? Who else said they want to answer? I don't think.
Mataji, can you go?
Yeah, go ahead, Ruth.
Mataji froze.
Rudra, go ahead.
What was the question?
Haribol, Rudra, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
What is the question? Yeah, Takshaka, was he killed as a result of the forest fire? That's the question.
No, because he wasn't actually there, but his wife got killed in the forest fire, but his son survived.
Wonderful, wonderful. Good listening, Rudra. Very, very good listening. Okay. I think we can, if anybody else wants to answer a question, raise their hand. If not, we will try to wrap this up and go to our moral story section.
Mataji, can I answer one question, please? This is
Okay, Mukund, you can answer more. You can answer one question. Okay. What was the son's name? Tataka's son's. What was his name? Takshaka's son. What was his name? Do you remember?
Not exactly, but I know it started from A.
Correct. Anybody else who remembers, they can say it now.
Can Samskriti say?
Yeah, Samskriti, go ahead.
I think it was Ashwana, something like that.
Yes, good. Does anybody else wants to say it out? Ashwashena.
I was so close.
Ashwashena. Okay. So let's move on to the moral stories. Varun, try to share the PowerPoint, moral stories PowerPoint. Varun, are you here, dear?
I think he's in lab.
Hi Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Haribol Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mataji. Swati Mataji, yes.
Yes, Mataji. Hi Krishna. I just wanted to take just 5 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah, so the kids, like, please come on video, everyone. And I just wanted to ask you all that have you seen the message regarding the Gita recital?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji. Yeah,
Mataji.
I'm already
Mataji.
practicing the thing, Mataji.
Okay, and you all have like, are you all in? Like, is there anyone who hasn't got a slot for the reading? Mukund,
No,
yeah,
Mataji.
can you unmute?
Yes, Mataji.
So, is there anyone who hasn't got a slot for the Gita recital?
Mataji, I haven't gotten a slot.
Okay,
Nor do I want to actually, because the thing is that I'm not going to be available at that time.
okay, okay. So, if there's anyone who has not
Mataji,
got a
same for me.
Suraj, is it Suraj?
Yes, Mataji.
So, you are not available that day?
No, I'm going to go to temple.
Mataji, I didn't do it.
So, Atharva, are you interested? No, I'm asking. Atharva, how are you feeling now?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I feel
You
normal.
feeling good? Okay. Did you go back to the doctor again?
No, I'm going to test tomorrow.
Okay, okay. I hope you feel better. So, anyone who, if you all, if anybody wants a slot or is available and has not got a slot and does want to do it, just let anybody know, either Indu Mataji, Vinita Gandharva Mataji, myself, or any of the teachers over here, and then we'll arrange for you, okay, for the Gita Jayanti recital. It shouldn't be that somebody is not getting a slot only because it's all filled up. So if anybody wishes to do it and you want to register yourself, you can just call anyone or message anyone, okay?
Yes,
Tulsi Manjari, I didn't see your name, I guess. Anyways, like whoever is free that day and can register, can get in the
Mataji,
verses.
did
Yes.
you call my name?
Yeah. Did you see that messages? I'm just
Yes.
sending it for everyone. If at all you feel that you have not
Oh
got a
yeah, I
slot, just
already
let.
signed up. Like
Sorry.
I already signed up.
Okay.
I already
Okay.
signed up.
Good
Yeah,
job. Okay.
a
Wonderful.
few days
Wonderful.
ago already.
Yeah. So we just wanted to make this last announcement. So I thought, like, if anybody has missed it, skipped it, we can just accommodate anybody else who is not there, signed up yet. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. You can please continue.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hari Hari Bol. Hare
Hari Bol.
Krishna. Okay, kids, let's get started with our moral stories. Maybe we can, because of our time, we can just do one. And Varun has started sharing the screen. Okay, he wants to do the test of faith. All right. Okay, so let's get started with that story. And we just do one for this week, and then we will continue through the next story next time. Okay.
Mataji, could you ask Varun to zoom in?
Varun, can you do that, dear? I have no idea how you do it, but can you zoom?
Yeah, ask him to do
Mataji, I
control.
just zoomed on my end.
You can zoom it on. You just click on the screen and try to zoom it on.
Yeah,
That's all.
thank you.
Okay. So once a disciple of Jesus was very sick for many years. Whatever he ate, he had no effect. So Jesus told him to fast for 48 days. So he was sick for many years, and whatever he ate, it had no effect on him. What did Jesus say? He told him to fast for 48 days. And then the other disciples were thinking, how can he do this? We thought he was compassionate, but he's making the sick man fast. Already he's sick. On top of it, Jesus is asking him to fast. What's going on? After 48 days, the man became very thin and weak. Jesus took a cup of warm milk with honey and little butter on top. He told the disciple, open your mouth. Like that, he told the disciple. The man was relieved. He thought, finally, I'm going to eat something. Like that, this man thought. Look at his happy face. And then when the cup was on his lip, he said, don't drink. This is your test. Like that. After 48 days of staying hungry, he was craving for a sweet aroma of the milk. The man was practically dead from starvation. But since he was a sincere disciple, he listened. When Jesus said, keep your mouth open, but don't drink, those who had faith knew whatever Jesus said would be good for him. So they were waiting to see the conclusion of the lesson. Others gave up the faith and they went away and they never returned. 1 minute, Varun, just be on the slide. So similarly, in our instance, if you look at ISKCON movement, our Srila Prabhupada, he has said a lot of things for us. And if somebody has faith on Srila Prabhupada, whatever he has said is true, or whatever he said is going to benefit us, then they will follow through it, even if they don't understand. Okay, no meat eating means no meat eating. No violence to animals, or no violence or speaking harshly to others. No, I won't do that act. No illicit.
Mataji, then like what happened to this disciple after
We will
he
see.
left?
Yeah, we will see. But I want to stress this point that we should have faith on our Guru Maharajas, our Guru Vargas. Srila Prabhupada is our founder of ISKCON movement, and whatever he says, we should have faith on him. That is the point I want to drive.
Mataji, you glitched
Mataji,
out.
your voice froze. You
Mataji, you're frozen.
Mataji's screen is frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're frozen, Mataji.
That's okay, Mataji. Mataji will come back. Let's wait. Now think about it. Why Jesus has told that person to keep open his mouth. Let's think about it. By the time Mataji come back. What do you all think? Why did Jesus told that? Don't turn to the next one, okay? Please put on the same slide. Can anybody guess for me? Why did Jesus told that?
Because he was testing him.
No, there is something special inside it. What was that?
To not make him big and bitter.
Why did Jesus told him to keep open his mouth and fast for 15 days even though he was sick?
To test his sincerity, his faith.
See if he would.
Yes, that is one thing. There is another
Mataji,
thing. Can anybody guess?
Mataji, it's to test his faith, if he will like believe in what Jesus says or not.
Wow, very good. But there is another secret inside it. Let's wait and see. Something is there in his tummy. That's why he said to open his mouth and keep it so that will come out. What would you think it was there?
Mataji, I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, what is it?
If a person does not eat and fast, he fills his stomach with air. Okay, so he's asking for air to come out first, because if there's too much air,
Okay,
I
let's
think
see,
the
let's
one.
see.
I think the one.
the air is filling his stomach, so he won't be filled by whatever he's
A worm.
So he's asking him.
Who was that bomb?
His
Who
mouth
was that
open
bomb?
so the air
Told that
Hey,
bomb.
Mataji. Look,
It was similar kind of
Hare
bomb,
Krishna.
but it's not the bomb. Okay, Radhika Kasturi Mataji, here we go. You can take it. We have had
Sorry,
a nice
Mataji.
discussion about it.
tapeworm.
Sorry,
We had a
sorry,
nice
Mataji.
discussion to guess what is it inside his tummy.
Tapeworm.
When you open the
All
mouth, right? So
Yeah. Oh,
kids have told very
Is it
nice,
the tapeworm?
interesting answers. You can take over,
Oh.
Mataji, please.
okay, Mataji. So,
Mataji, is it the tapeworm?
so the next one is, so for several minutes, the man kept his mouth open and Jesus held the silver goblet right below his lips for a long time. All right. And then, so for about half an hour, a tapeworm came out of his mouth. This worm who lived in his stomach used to eat whatever he would eat. And now the man had not eaten anything for 48 days. The tapeworm was also starving. So to everyone's astonishment, this worm came out and attracted the smell of the milk. So it got attracted to the smell of the milk and it came out from his stomach, because of which he was not able to eat anything. Jesus took the 2 stones and killed it. Now you can drink the milk. Since you have followed my instruction, this nectar will give you material and spiritual health, which is what Jesus told the disciple. This story explains an important aspect of faith. We must have complete faith in God and God's associates. Even when everything seems to be at worst, we must never give up because everything he does is for our own good.
Mataji, that was weird. Why did he have a tapeworm in his mouth?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Because of that worm, he had problems with his digestion and he was not able to eat anything. It was a
Tapeworms drink your blood like vampires.
Yeah, the thing is, I think Suraj, right? Suraj, the thing is, we need to understand just the principle. We should not go into details and start analyzing the particular thing, why this, why that, and all that. What is the principle? The principle is we have to have faith on our Guru and Guru Vargas, Guru's associates and the devotees of the Lords. So that is the principle, and that is what is the understanding. And here they have tried to explain that this person listened to Jesus. Because of listening to Jesus, he was able to understand the nectar. And that is the understanding. Okay, dear. We should not question, I mean, we should not try to overanalyze the story. All right. Just we need to understand at a broad way that they are trying to tell us and help us understand that we need to have faith on God and faith on Lord's devotees. This is what is the understanding of the pastime.
Okay, Mataji.
Very good job. Very good question. You ask brilliant questions and I always encourage that. But again, from this perspective, you understood, right? The point here is that you need to understand the principle. Okay, dear. All right. So are we good today? Are you all good with this particular moral story? I think it was very good story as such.
Mataji, could we please have one more?
No, dear. Actually, the thing is tomorrow, I mean, next week, we can have 3 stories also if possible. And then we will go from there. It's already getting late here. I mean, it is so
Mataji,
dark at
please.
5:50.
Please,
Okay,
Please, Mataji.
Mataji, for me
Huh?
it's 8:15.
Mataji, Mataji, we can project the next story. It is there already. Kids, Varun can read it and then they can discuss, Mataji. You can leave, Mataji. You can go to home.
Okay, Varun, would you be able to explain? Read it, Varun.
Lower the sound, Nana.
Okay, I'll just quickly go through. No problem. I don't know if Varun
Mataji,
has it.
Mataji, then that's okay. Next week we will do. No problem. It's already 7:50. We'll close here. No! Hey, it's getting late. Mataji is in dark.
No
Okay,
problem.
do like
No
that.
problem. No problem. 5 minutes. Okay, we'll cover this if that's okay. Yeah. So,
Mataji, that's fine, Mataji. I'm closing the call here. That's
okay,
okay.
Mataji.
Vansha kalpa tarobhyasya